2025 started 20 days ago, but it seems to actually start now with tech layoffs, with Donald Trump announcing the golden age of America has begun, and most importantly, H1B and major changes that are starting from now.
The bloodbath in tech continues with Facebook, or Meta as it's now called, firing more than 11,000 employees.
With much more fear starting among students. So first of all, this video will have three parts. Number one, the job market right now. Number two, H1B. And number three, the only three skills you need right now to survive this year and the next 4 years during the Trump administration. So starting with number one, the tech layoffs. Meta announcing 10% of the workforce will be laid off. Let's react to his clip from the podcast with Joe Rogan, where he announced that AI will be doing all the tasks related to a mid-level software engineer starting from the end of 2025.
Probably in 2025, we at Meta, as well as the other companies that are basically working on this, are going to have an AI that can effectively be a sort of mid-level engineer that you have at your company that can write code. And once you have that, then in the beginning it'll be really expensive to run, and then you can get it to be more efficient. And then over time we'll get to the point where a lot of the code in our apps and including the AI that we generate.
This part is really important. A lot of people mistake it by assuming he's saying AI will replace software engineers. He's saying that AI, which is already writing code, like 25% of the code is written at Google by AI, and even at Meta and all the big tech companies, he's saying more of the code will be written by AI, but the job of software engineer is going to evolve. It's going to be different rather than it actually be core coding, which you already don't do. You don't write functions from scratch. GitHub Copilot has made like software engineers 55% more productive.
It's going to eliminate a lot of jobs.
It's too early to know exactly how it plays out, but my guess is that it'll probably create more creative jobs than it.
So he's just trying to say that AI will get better. He's not saying that the jobs of mid-level software engineers will be gone. Adding on more data to it, so if I show you some of the AI agents I use, so I'm going to show you on my terminal. This is one of the crazy AI tool I use, which is not a normal summary. It is actually wisdom-based summary. So here in this tool, I'm going to just type in YT. So I'm going to show you one of the cool AI agent that everyone uses. So let's say we consider Cursor AI. So Cursor AI did a podcast with Lex Friedman. So in that, AI agents have already been discovered and talked in depth in this podcast. I can literally type YT and then YT, link of the podcast, then extract wisdom. I'll share the link of this tool later. So this tool, what it does is, using my ChatGPT subscription, it extracts the transcripts of this podcast and gives you in-depth summary with the wisdom you can earn. So for example, it gives you a one-line summary, and most importantly, the summary which matters with all the information you can just read with the quotes. So for example, in this podcast, fast is fun, that should be a t-shirt. So all the important quotes. Cursor is not just a product, it's a tool we are building for ourselves. All the important quotes that were discovered with the habits you can learn from Cursor AI, with the facts and with the references of all the tools they talk about, and one key sentence summary, which is like it'll enhance creativity, automate repetitive tasks, and redefine human AI collaboration in software development. Even the AI agent, that is Cursor AI agent, it talks about not replacing software engineers, but enhancing creativity. It talks about programming will shift from boilerplate coding to creative design-driven problem solving. This was already talked about in depth, and that's the same thing Mark Zuckerberg is repeating. There's nothing to be scared of. At the same time, Jensen Huang said that
the department of every company is going to be the HR department of AI agents in the future. Today, they manage and maintain a bunch of software from the IT industry. In the future, they'll maintain, nurture, onboard.
Even prove it further, I tried the Replit's AI agent, which is actually mind-blowing as well. So I'm going to show you one of the cool thing that I built with Replit AI agent. I told Replit AI agent build this app with Apple's design terminology, Apple's keywords, and it just blew my mind. And it is able to maintain the features. If I want to add features to this tic-tac-toe game, it is able to do it phenomenally well. But how good it's going to become for your personal project, the time will tell. But as per the predictions say, with more and more context, it's going to become as good. It's for these general projects like tic-tac-toe for your personal projects as well. And you can deploy the app from here as well. Cursor AI, it works so well with my personal projects, and I'm sure Replit AI agent or even Devin AI agent is slowly going to get even better and better. Telling you the true picture of layoffs. If you see the layoffs in 2023, they were 264,000. In 2024, they were 150,000. In 2025, they're going to be massive layoffs as well. Do you know why? Because it's part of American culture. It is proven 1 out of 2% in American workforce, irrespective of a visa, will get laid off at some point in your career of 30, 40 years in tech force. And that's going to happen. Do you know why? Because of demand and supply. Let me tell you with the story. 2016 to 2020, the number of computer science students going into a university doubled. That's the time when I went to college for computer science degree as well. And it was predicted the tech jobs will continue going at the same pace till 2022. It was continue to going up. The demand was so high in tech industry. There were mass hiring going on. Tech interviews were so easy. Amazon was hiring with just 2 rounds of interview for intern and getting full-time opportunity. It was so easy because the demand was higher, supply was less. But after 2022, it switched because we provided, this whole country provided so much supply in the tech industry. There were boot camps opening up. Boot camps were promoting in 3 months you can get skills to be a software engineer rather than getting 4-year degree. All of these combined creating big supply of tech workers. But when 2022 interest rates happened and they overhired, when the demand went down, these boot camps suffered, these universities, they did not suffer because the people who did not get job, they went back to school for master's degree, but the boot camps went out of business and college degrees demand went back again because these tech workers started to choose more specialized engineers which were coming from university, which were coming with lot of experience. And this is a changing landscape. It happened, but this will continue to because of something once again called demand and supply, and layoffs became part of the culture. Not just this, if you look at the salaries of Meta, Google, when they were hired in like 2022, when Meta stock was $90 per stock, now it's $600. So all those engineers who were given 100K at, let's say, $90 per stock, which is now valued at 500K. Why would they leave their job? So because they are so happy who were hired in the last few years, they don't want to leave their job because the stock market is really high. That's why they are laying off as well. So that's why these are the engineers, maybe because of performance, maybe because of laying off the whole team, they are getting laid off just to make it cheaper for the company to run, and it will continue to happen. Number 2, H1B. Let me tell you once again, after all the drama that happened over a month on Twitter for H1B, I'm not going to remind you what drama that happened. In the end, what you really need to do is H1B is important. If you look at this data, I'm going to show you right now. If you look at the International Collegiate Programming Contest, which used to tell, US is superior in coding and innovation. If you see the difference right now, what I'm going to show you, starting with, let's say, 2021, you would see that United States is on top with MIT students performing the best in coding problems. And after 2021, 2022, US was still at top, MIT as second, China leading with Peking University. But in 2024, things have started to change. US is now ranked 11 or 12 in the best coding and problem solving abilities among students. And that is a major shift that's happening. And not just this, if you look at other data, for example, even if you look at TSMC is one of the manufacturing plant which creates majority of the chips that you use in your phone or laptops right now from Apple as well as from Nvidia. And 50% of those workers in Arizona's plant are not from America. They are still from Taiwan. So you can see that there is a gap in experienced people in the US, whether they are top coders, which you can see that currently top coders are in China, Russia, Moscow, Japan, which are not even in top 10 in the US, in at least in 2024. There is demand for manufacturing jobs which are done by H1B workers in TSMC factories in Arizona. And that is the reason US has this superpower called immigration, which brings the best of the best specialized labor in manufacturing, in coding from all parts of the world to the US, and that helps in maintaining the superpower of the US. And you can clearly see there is a demand. The way students in the US, even when I was doing my undergrad, I saw that my abilities in calculus is way higher being coming from India, way higher. Normal students in US, whether they are completing the high school, even with great AP scores, whether they are in college, their intellect in STEM is way below than average Indian studying for IIT. And that is like not just me saying, any IIT student coming to the US can tell that. I went to MIT and did the channel as well, and that's the reason, because US education system, at least before college, before MIT, before college, is not as good as other countries. They continue to require these specialized fields through H1B visa. Another example could be, look at any of the top AI engineers in any company. Tesla's AI lead, he's Slovak Canadian. Look at top AI engineer at Meta. He's Jan LeCun. He's French. Look at any top AI engineers right now of any top company. You would see more than 50% coming outside the country. And how they are able to come? Either through O1 or H1B. And that's why H1B is important. Trump backed H1B. He said for H1B this time. Elon Musk said for H1B this time. So don't worry about it. Even though you will see a lot of stress, I know you have seen a lot of fear mongering. For example, game over for H1B holders, where you see that birthright citizenship is gone. If you're not a US citizen, your kid won't be a US citizen, but which is still to be fought upon in Congress, because that is part of the constitution. So this can be changed as easily as you might think. This is still going to be fought, but you should not forget that US still has space for specialized, experienced engineers. And I have so many friends who are in cybersecurity, normal engineers, starting their EB1 process early, starting their O1 process early, and are getting green cards. So there is still room for you if you fight and focus on your skill from the beginning. And this guy blew my mind, because he said that you shouldn't work in a startup for long term, because his trajectory was mind blowing at Meta. He got an opportunity to file patents, and he had great promotion and great trajectory as an engineer leading. And like, I personally think that it can happen in startups as well, but these are opinions worth reading, and you should continue to experiment with your career, see where you get better growth. Or whether you look at this student who is struggling to find jobs from the last 2-3 years, even after getting master's degree, and these students with $200,000 in debt, they become hopeless and they feel like there's nothing available, no opportunity available for them in the US. But on the other hand, if you go to places like California, where they are in strong peer groups, strong friendship, who are very ambitious, they are like, oh, I'm going to deny this $90,000 offer because there is like 2 offers waiting for me which are 200K plus. So it all depends on your mentality. I'm going to give you another example. I was making not even 100K through my first job. And when I actually started to go to conferences like AWS Summit, meeting top iOS developers, when I figure out the cool stuff they are doing, I started to learn iOS as well. I built up my resume inspired by them and applied for Microsoft and got in and doubled my package. So just by upgrading my friend group, my peer group, I started with the worst or like least accomplished friend in that peer group. And when I started to work hard to become the average of those 5 people, I started to see so many opportunities around me. So if you are someone like him who feel like with 200k debt that who feels like with 200k debt you have no opportunities, just upgrade your peer group. Go to conferences, go to meetups on Luma, meetup.com, Eventbrite. Go to these places where you can upgrade that peer group and start fighting towards better opportunities like that peer group. Number 3, only 3 skills I'm going to tell you to learn right now to survive this year and this job market. I'm going to open the World Economic Forum job report, which clearly states what are the skills that are important, what are the jobs that are dying, and you will be surprised. The biggest trend, as you all know, is physical AI, robots, and AI and information processing technologies, which you don't need to focus on. I'm going to show you the jobs that are increasing, the hype, the demand for generative AI skills is still exponentially increasing. If you look at this graph, the number of people, number of employers looking for AI in your resume is still highest, and it's exponentially growing. The fastest growing technologies of 2025 to 2030 is big data specialists, fintech engineers, and AI and machine learning specialists, and software engineers is still up there. And fastest declining is some clerks and other manual jobs, and customer facing jobs are still not there. What this data is overall saying that there will be displacement of 92 million of current jobs or 8% of total employment, resulting in net growth of still 78 million jobs. So the way you're going to be working right now is going to change, and only those who upskill themselves, I'm going to show you the skills as well, are going to survive. Let me tell you the top skills that this data recommends as well. The top skills suggested include analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, and continue to use your creative thinking. And all of these skills can be learned by just 3 steps. Number 1, reading the right news and data. For that, I'm going to suggest you to subscribe to the top newsletters in your field wherever you are interested. For example, I am interested in security, so I went to tldr.tech, chose security, and subscribe. I figured out what are the top folks in security, and for that I figured out this guy called Daniel Misler, and I was like, I'm in security, I'm gonna subscribe to his newsletter. That's how I found some crazy AI tools built by this guy as well, which I showed you how to summarize these like big blogs and YouTube podcasts I listen to with so much wisdom and these headlines. So, figure out the people you want to follow and read those news, read those blogs, and subscribe to them, put them in your email, and read them every single day. Every single time, catch up, and you will figure out trends from there automatically. Number 2, follow the right people on Twitter, LinkedIn, and engage with them. And I know it's going to be really hard. You will see that people with 200 followers, a founder with 200 followers on Twitter, when they post, then I am hiring, they get 10,000 applications within 24 hours. I know it's going to be really, really tough, but you can stand out if you are posting content at the right time every single day. With the news you will be reading, you will have enough information on what you want to post. Whatever you're building, you can post in public and engage with your audience, and that's what's going to stand you out. Number 3, the most important skill is to continue to experiment and build. I showed you 2 AI agents that I tried, Replit and this AI agent by Daniel, which is mind-blowing to create summaries. So you have to go out and continue to try these tools. I have tried Flux as well. Any AI model you can think of, I have tried because it is fun and it gives me context how it is going to be like the future with that AI agent. And you can only tell the future when you go out, try, and make your own conclusions. With these 3 practices itself, you would have analytical skills because you're going out and trying tools. With these, you would have enough ability to keep learning again and again and suggesting these tools. If you're already working in a team, you will be able to suggest better tools. If you're already working in a corporate environment, your voices will be heard because you're trying these new tools. So just by these three practices, you would be able to fit in any environment, and you would not be in any of the position of that 26-year-old guy who is still, after undergrad and masters, struggling to find jobs, because opportunities will open when you are in the right peer group and reading the right content and posting the right content. So that will be my advice. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.